No, Sam. This is the phrase I occasionally hear. Others should have heard this too. Parents, friends, and teachers usually say this to express strong disapproval to something I think or do. My classmates or teachers should know, or at least suspect, that I am strange. I often have an idea that opposes them. For instance, I recently debated with my friend about the existence of useless people. Most people, just like my friend, will say everyone in the world has a meaning of life. While he supported what is called the common sense, I answered, what if the public considers the meaning useless? And the debate intensified. We talked about it for about 15 minutes, but neither of us changed even a bit. People should have a similar experience, where fighting or arguing goes for a day, week, or months, but only ends in a peace agreement, never a consensus. This is because people have their own belief and most of them rarely change. Then what should we do if such meaningless discussion is about to happen? Well, I think the easiest way is to prevent the cause of the issue. When I was a freshman, not in this school, but in another school, my friends were quite curious about the culture of Korea. They asked about Koreans, K pop, and many other things. But most importantly, they asked about the food, including dog meat. Yes, it is legal to eat dog meat in South Korea. And furthermore, there is a day it is encouraged to eat. Most of my friends raised in Asia who are familiar with such culture are not surprised, while those who live in United States, not even imagining the possibility of edible dog, were horrified. I understand it is natural in Western society to take dog as companion or a family member. The dog has been a great companion of Europeans, being security, shepherds, or foragers through many eras. On the other hand, it is natural for us Asians to consider dogs as food. Talking about Korea, more than half of its territory is mountains, and the reliance on a few rivers resulted in occasional famine and flood. Foraging was one way to survive, but in winter animals hide and the forest freezes, leaving nothing but cows they use in farm or dogs they raise as alarms. Cows must be used in next year's spring, so what's left? However, I did not say this to them. Because it is a long story, I did want the issue to intensify and spread over the campus. Convincing my friends of a different culture was more than just time consuming, and also nearly impossible. So I quickly shifted the topic before they dig in deeply. When you face such issues where consensus is hardly made, it is best to ignore it, as I did. But sometimes you can't just do that. For example, in a group with a lot of people, there are always people who differ in religions, cultures, and ideologies. Subsequently, problems about that difference will rise, and the solutions will never come by themselves. Leaders in this case must mediate the friction and prevent the group from shattering. When I talked about the dog meat, in all likelihood, you guys felt disgusted. I think it is acceptable. Humans are made to be skeptical of anything unfamiliar. Dog as food is something unimaginable to people living in non-Asian countries. But will you express that disgust? You may, but by doing so, you will not be a friend of Koreans. Some will wonder, why do I care? I am in the United States. Absolutely correct. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. However, this is not Rome. Diversity is one definite characteristic of this country. Looking around the world, there will be many countries with cultures Americans may not understand. Chinese eating brains, French drowning a bird in wine, and Muslim culture. Let me ask you again. Will you express your disgust? You shouldn't if you want to be a great leader. then how can we be together? My primary school was the place I understood how to do so. The school was an international school where students from all around the world assembled. British, French, Chinese, Japanese, Jordanian, and Korean. Students prefer their mother tongue. Of course, they knew English, but not very proficient. Classmates teamed those with the same nationality and didn't talk with foreigners often. The teacher didn't like that, so she made a new rule to speak only English in class, to both improve English of students and encourage students to make more friends. At first, nothing changed. Children still talked to the same friends, only that they spoke English. But teachers loved to give group projects where students had to talk to strangers for teamwork. During one of the projects I had, one British and two Taiwanese teammates. If it wasn't a teacher's role, those two should have spoken Chinese while I and the British guy spoke English, which isn't a good team. Hopefully, our languages were fixed to English, finishing the work without a big obstacle. In addition, I knew their names, which helped me to talk them later. This process, this process was repeated every time there was a work requiring a team. After a few months, not surprisingly, all students talked, played, and worked with each other without any difficulty. I really admired the teacher who made that role. She knew how to unite people without conflict. Find something similar and let the group realize it. Some will say, well, Lincoln united the United States with guns, so force is the best way. Well, Lincoln may have united lands, but not people. South still hated African Americans. If such animosity remained until today, the existence of the nation this strong, where everyone is loyal to their country, would have been impossible. Thanks to human rights activist people, regardless of race and sex, came together as humans. People around the world once shared the same idea, but that does not mean their belief must be unified before being in a group. They can coexist. Democrats and Republicans live together in this country, for instance, so why force our faith to others? Thank you.